All right. So देखो, what a beautiful question UPSC has asked now. This is the question you have got. So first thing is, which one is to write? जल्दी से बैठो. Do not be late. पानी का बॉटल. चला गया. Which one to write? देखो, look at this. देखो, if you have to pick up an essay on which you have to write, trust me, those essays where you have got a very good understanding and you have got a very good content over that, those essays you should be attempting. All right. So here, look at this, these four essays. Look at this. Number one, this forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. All right. I am just giving you first to eliminate which one has to be written out of this. All right. So forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. So this is slightly technical. If you have got the idea about how forest can help in economic importance, means first you have to think that whether in the body do you have the thesis and antithesis about that. Thesis means do you have enough supporting evidence that okay, forests are very important for economic excellence. One thing is yes, other thing is no, it is not just forests, but what matters is other things which are present also. So this is the part of the body. Then second thing is you have to think about the introduction, and then third is you have to think about the conclusion. All right. If you are able to manage this, then you can choose that essay. All right. So number one, this is forest is the best case studies for economic excellence. So this one is I think this is good to go. All right. Because here you will have the content, manageable content. All right. Next question, this one. Look at this. I'm just giving you first how to eliminate things. Poets are the unacknowledged legislatures of the world. All right. कवि संसार के अनधिकृत रूप से मान्य विधायक होते हैं. So look at this. This question needs a very specific knowledge. You'll have to give a lot of examples from poetry who had got a vision way ahead of their time. All right. So you will find probably 10 examples. Specific hobby like poetry. It is very difficult to pick up this topic and write this one. All right. So in my opinion, there is no for that. All right. So I'm just giving you first, and then I will be discussing the two which we are selecting from that each section, so that you should have the fair idea how to write that essay. All right. So this thing should be a shady area, because this is very specific thing which has been asked. Poets, you cannot generalize it also that even a person who is not having any poetry will have a theme of poets. That cannot be generalized. So you'll have to stop here. People having philosophy, not just philosophy options. People having the interest in poetry, they should be writing, because you need to give a lot of examples in this. If I ask you the thesis about that and antithesis about that, so there are poets who predicted about the world, way back in 1930s. All right. The poets like Robert Frost, which became very, very popular. All right. And which is relevant even today, that woods are what is that? Dark and miles to go before I sleep. So that means what? The kind of inspiration which is there. The kind of inspiration which is there, which is present even today. All right. So for that, you need to have a lot of poets. For example, Rabindranath Tagore, the poetry of Rabindranath Tagore from Gitanjali. All right. So you can can have 10 examples, but at least 30-40 examples. So I'll say no for this topic. If somebody has interest, you can write that. Next topic. Look at this. The history is a series of victories won by the scientific man over romantic man. So that is a very good topic if you have a good control over history, because you'll have to write, let's say, all the historical battles, be it from the Bharat's battle to Mahatma Gandhi against the colonial empire. All right, or the world war which is there. The pragmatic man, it is saying that a scientific man is one who can reason. Romantic man is one who will be fighting it through emotions. Yes. So yes, you can write, but look at this here. What is the catch in this question? What is the catch in this question? The catch in this question is this one, man. All right. So everywhere you will have to justify it with the personalities which are there. All right. So for example, you can say, it was the very ghost was there, where Ashoka thought that conquering through war is the right idea, right battle, right way to battle. All right. But it was Dhamma ghost where he started that conquering through Dhamma is the right way to have this thing to win the hearts and minds of the people. All right. So conquering through Dhamma became very, very important and got the popularity. All right. And Ashoka was respected because of that only, not because of his earlier version of Ashoka. All right. So he became scientific later on. Earlier, he was more a romantic man. For example, Hitler. What is the romance which you see in Hitler? The kind of ultra-nationalism philosophy which is there. All right. So he fought the war. All right. But was it the victory? No. Argument against. But Mahatma Gandhi, every action was very logical, well thought, very much reasoned. All right. And this reasoned logical action has led to what? The independence which is there. All right. So this is how you can write. This is how you can write. But here also I'll suggest you to write if you have a very good control over history. All right. If you have a very good control over history. So then fourth one. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for. All right. That means what? You are let's say you are a human being capable of doing anything. All right. You people are preparing for UPS. You have got intelligence. Your intelligence will be used in administration. You have the potential to work with the best minds of the world, but it is of no use if you do not have the risk-taking capability. All right. It does not have if you have the fighting spirit. All right. So if I ask you to, change this entire statement into one word, that is what? Risk appetite. Yes, risk-taking capability. Along with all that, when risk-taking capability is there, that means you have got the self-belief. All right. So here you will have a very good amount of content when you have deduced this topic to just one word or just one simple idea. All right. Risk-taking capability. All right. So my goal in this case for all of you should be to write on these two, number 1 and number 4. Why number 4? Because in number 4 you see it anywhere, all the successes in this world, all the successes, be it athletes, be it a person who is entrepreneur, be it the social worker who has created the impact, or be it the freedom struggle movement, be it Buddha, anywhere, any part of the history, be it environment, economics, everywhere you will find that with certain amount of calculated risk, it has yielded into the into the right thing, into the right result, has benefited the sections of the society. All right. So my say would be, because in this you will not have the problem of content, and in the first also you will not have the problem of content. So you should be writing between these two. Did you understand on what basis? Third is good also, but there this is slightly more factual. Yes. So third is more factual. You can write third also, but avoid to. Avoid to. That is the definite thing. All right. All right. And then come to the next part. I'm just coming to discuss those essays which we have chosen. All right. The time to repair the roof. Time to repair the roof is when sun is shining. Time to repair roof is when sun is shining. So tell me, what does it mean? If I ask you to convert it into one word, sun is shining, and then you will have to repair the roof. So that means, right time, right decision making. That's all. Right time, right decisions. This is what has been told. Again, if I tell you to take up the example from all the sphere, be it history, be it the geography, polity, society, economics, anywhere in this thing, you see that all the success will be the result of right decision taken at the right time. Be it the example of bureaucracy, who has been very, very successful. Armstrong Palme, who can create this roads, all right, or this the person who cleaned Warsaw Beach, all right. So if you are taking the example of these, that means what? That means what? You are saying you are seeing the right decisions taken at the right time. Yes. So the planning will be one component of this. Planning will be one component of this. Sun is shining now. All right. So there might be, what is the predictable future after that? There might be the rainfall. After summers, you will have the rainfall. All right. So you are building the roof. That means you have adequate preparedness. So the approach is disaster management also. You are just mitigating, you are just also one way to think this. All right. So all these are indicating towards at right time, what is the right decisions which has to be taken. Ask her to come. All right. So look at this. So this can also be deduced into just one part. Next is, you cannot step twice in the same river. You cannot step twice in the same river. That means what? Same mistake should not be repeated. All right. Same mistakes. So here also, finding example is difficult. Let's say Germany committed the same mistake again and again by fighting the two subsequent world wars, and that led to the loss of entire humanity. All right. So same mistakes should not be committed again and again. This is one thing. All right. So if I say that you'll have to give a lot of thought for getting the accurate examples or accurate dimensions from that. Acha, mind it, what I have told you about these kind of essays, you cannot create much theory there. All right. So you will have to think upon examples. Do not try to create theory. Theories will be created after giving adequate considerations to the examples. All right. So you cannot step twice in the same river, means same mistakes should not be repeated again and again. All right. A smile is chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. So I'll not personally prefer this. All right. Although somebody can write that. All right. A smile is a chosen vehicle for all the ambiguities. All right. What does this say? What does this say? All the ambiguities are there. Ambiguities means you have got confusions. You have got conflict of interest. Ambiguities means you have got any kind of dilemma which is there, be it ethical dilemma or any other kind of dilemma which is there. All right. So, and for that you have to smile. This smile is not just the physical smile, the Pepsodent smile. It is not that. It is the kind of the emotional aspect which is there. All right. You need to be very, very strong even in the hard times. You are struggling, yet you have got the smile on your face. So this is the paradox which it is indicating. All right. So Gandhiji could able to win the victory against the mighty British Empire. Why? Why? With a smile. Smile not just on his face, but in his heart. He has got enough confidence. He has got enough emotional understanding, emotional intelligence. All right. Or for that matter, Sachin Tendulkar. Let's talk about Sachin Tendulkar. It is not like he did not face any kind of problem, or Mahendra Singh Dhoni. It is not like Indian cricket team. It is not like they did not face any kind of problem, but they fought. They fought back. All right, and they fought back and they conquered the World Cup, the highest trophy in cricket. All right, how? With the help of that smile. The smile is symbolic here. The smile is symbolic here, which indicates towards the self-belief to bounce back. All right, which indicates towards the the idea of emotional intelligence, the idea of the confidence. So if I say here, so in just one word here, you will have to write about the confidence, the emotional intelligence, which has to be written. So if you are reducing it to one word, then the question becomes easy. The question becomes easy. Then finding out the content on this becomes easy. Just because you have a choice, it does not mean them has to be right. So remember, I have told you the idea of Kant, Immanuel Kant, idea about the freedom and the morality which Kant had stated. Freedom means it has stated that the right to choose from the choices created by oneself. All right. So irrespective of all the choices which are present, the person may not be the right. All right. So choices will be present, but because of the limitation of that choices, All right, all right. There was a power cut, so we're going to reconnect. Hmm. Can you please check live stream or? All right. All right. So here it is saying that just because you have got a choice, it does not mean that your choices has to be right. All right. That means here it is about the choice and morality. The difference between choice of morality over the choices. All right. Osama bin Laden also had a choice, but he performed his choice within the limited, this boundary. And because of that limited boundary, he turned up as a scientist. A software engineer has different choices, all right, but it does not mean that all the choices will be right. So all the choices should be backed by the morality, all right. So if you have got a choice, that means you'll have to see that whether the choice taken by you is right or wrong. All right. So let's start with the essay number 1, which we have chosen. Let us start now. So it is the forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. Forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. All right. Let me talk about the intro. How to write the intro. So how we are going to create the structure? Number 1, we have to write intro, and then we will go to body part. In that body part, we are going to give thesis and then antithesis, and after antithesis, thesis, antithesis, and then you'll have to give government effort, and then you'll have to give current affairs, and you'll have to give then way forward, and you'll have to give then conclusion. All right, look at this, how to write intro. All right, intro. So I'll take up the case studies of 2 places. Number 1 is 2 places from India. Number 1 is Dhanbad, and another one is what? Kerala. All right, or Andhra Pradesh. So what is the case study? Because of increased mining which is happening in Dhanbad. All right. Dhanbad has witnessed huge amount of deforestation because of this mining activities. All right. So that city is the least preferred city. Even Dhanbad does not have the airport also. It is well connected with the cargo transport, but it does not have the airport. All right. A huge amount of migration is there from Dhanbad to the urban area. The city is turning into the ghost city. Ghost city means the economic activity now is not viable. The atmosphere is polluted. All right. Jharia Dhanbad region, the atmosphere is polluted. So this is not the place for preference for this. On the other hand, Kerala focused upon greenery. All right, Kerala focused upon greenery. The forest cover in Kerala is relatively huge, relatively larger, and because of that, not just the environment is pure and clean, not just the temperature is slightly down, but it is also indicating towards it is also attracting tourism, and it is one of the most preferred city to live in. All right. So then in one paragraph you talk about Dhanbad. Okay. In another paragraph you talk about this, the cities of Kerala, where you will have the forest cover. All right. And then third paragraph you compare these two. What is the difference between these two case studies which makes Kerala a place of economic opportunities or a place of economic excellence, and which indicates towards declining trends of economics in Dhanbad. Are you understanding my point? So once you have asked the question, then you will have to answer this by yourself. So 3 paragraphs. First paragraph for indicating towards the one case study about Dhanbad, then Kerala, then comparison and the questions which you asked according to the question. All right. 4th paragraph, you start answering that. All right. It is the forests. It is the forests and the ecosystem present around the forest. All right. It is the forest and ecosystem present around the forest, which is indicating towards what? The economic prosperity of the region. All right. All right. So economic prosperity of the region. Clear है? Clear, making sense? So once देखो बहुत ध्यान से समझिए how to write these questions in a flow. You have given 2 examples, 3rd paragraph for comparison, 4th paragraph for that, and 5th paragraph for explaining the importance of forest. All right, you'll say that you talk about this, that in man environment or in development versus environment debate, or the forest serves as the indicator. Forest serves as the indicator for sustainable development. So then you will have to explain it little bit. All right. So forests are the very fundamental for not just economy for different aspects of economy, but also for environment. So you will have to, now we are going to expand it. We are going to tell the examiner that what is coming next in this essay. So you are going to say forests are not just fundamental for economics, but it is fundamental for sustainable development. It is fundamental for what? Geopolitics also. Why not? Because the dimensions which you are going to give, you are going to cover it here only. All right. You'll say there are different types of forests which are present in India. All right. Such as you can say, do not be very much geographical, but you can say mangrove type of forest. Type of forest. All right. Forests in hilly area region. You can write like that. Deciduous forests, evergreen forests. And all these will have their own importance in this. Or you can talk about the social forestry also. You do not miss that in forests, you will have the social forestry, Miyawaki technique, which is there. All right. So through that, social forestry is increasing. This extension forestry is increasing. So all that is what? All that is indicating towards what? The forests which are there, and how forests can help in the economic prosperity. So once you have given the structure here, first you talked about economic aspect. So forests, then you can give the subheading like this. Then we are coming to the thesis part of it. From here, we start the body. All right. You have written intro and then transition. After transitions, we are coming to thesis part of it. Thesis part of it. What will be the thesis? What will be the thesis part of it? So you will be starting saying that how forests are important for this. Forests as important economic resource. As a subheading बनाएंगे. And when you have created this subheading, you are going to services which are provided by the forest ecosystem. Ecosystem services. All right. What kind of services? So you do not go that technical. You do not talk about this supporting, regulating, aesthetic, and this provisional services. You just talk about this the ability to provide food for their fuel. Number one, ability to regulate biogeochemical cycles, ability to regulate the disasters. So these are all the direct resources which are there. Minor forest produce as a resource. These are the direct forest resources. Forests serve as what? The backward and forward linkages to various industries. So it will also be helping in industrial agglomeration or industrial development, which is there. All right. All right. When we have written this, and then you will have to talk about forests are the important source of employment also. Forest creates employment. How? Because of this industry is based upon this what? The timber based industries, the forest produce based industries. This is creating the employment opportunities. All right. So you can talk about the employment opportunities created for the economics. All right. And then you can also talk about what? Then urbanization. Green urbanization. Green urbanization is the long-term urbanization, is the more sustainable urbanization. All right. And it can be managed by the presence of extension forestry, social forestry, Miyawaki techniques. You can write about that. All right. You know about two case studies which you can mention here. All right. The person named Subendu Kumar. You know about the person named Subendu Kumar, who has created a lot of urban forests with the Miyawaki techniques. All right. And is recognized. The effort of his is recognized by the world communities. Or in Maharashtra, there is a Sai sanctuary. That is also a private sanctuary which was created. Sai sanctuary. Subendu Kumar is also in this Maharashtra region, and there are different parts of India. He has expanded a lot. All right. All right. And then you will have to talk about how this forests are the important case study of economic excellence. You can talk about, by environmental excellence, which leads to economic excellence. All right. How environmental regulation excellence? How environmental excellence? Because of carbon sequestration, water cycle regulation, which is resulting into what? Supporting the economics in long run. And this environmental ideology, or this environmental excellence, is visible in the effective and efficient management of disaster management. Disaster management with the help of this forests. So these are the one small paragraphs which has to be written. Yes, why not? In environment, you can talk about food web, habitat, niche, wildlife. And then when you talk about disaster, then you'll have to transit towards what? The geopolitical importance. India is having INDC commitment. In INDC commitment, it is talking about what? Increasing the forest cover for meeting the need of climate justice, the ideas of climate justice. All right. And then subsequently, not just this, in second paragraph, you can also talk about red and red plus plus. Red and red plus. That is also indicating towards what? The approach of the role of forests in economic excellence. All right. All right. Do not miss, you have mentioned in the introduction part that there are different types of forests. So you will say that where you have written about this forests, role of forest in disaster management. Can you give the example of mangrove forest as called tsunami soldiers? All right. And the area which have got mangrove forests will have what? Lesser economic loss in case of disasters. Then you will have to talk about antithesis. By this time you must be on, I think, 4th to 5th page. 4th to 5th page, because all these has to be explained in just one small paragraphs. All right. So you will be on 4th to 5th page. Let's talk about antithesis. What will be the antithesis? What will be the antithesis? It is not alone the factor for economic excellence. So what should be the other factors for economic excellence? I'll say number one, HDI. So when I am talking about HDI, that means I am talking about health, I am talking about education, I am talking about quality of life. So there has to be one paragraph which has to be written on this HDI. Good governance. Good governance. Then there has to be one paragraph which has to be written on good governance. Even forest management is also the outcome of good governance. All right. And then you talk about the infrastructures which are created. Infrastructures which are created. Those are the indicators. Of infrastructures, you will have two types of infrastructures: hard infrastructures and soft infrastructures. Soft infrastructures are skills. These are the right measures of economic excellence. You do not have to, you have to write at least 5 paragraphs on that. Apart from forests, these are the measures. Investment in the economy. Indian economy and US economy can be differentiated by way of understanding the levels of investment in those two economies. All right. You can write about that. So it is not just the forest. How much forest is there in Japan? Very less, but yet SDI performance is good. All right. So these are the antitheses. These are the antitheses. then you will be saying that after you have given thesis, you have given antithesis. That means you are saying, so there is a contrast with respect to this topic. You will say, despite all this, government has recognized the importance of forest as a fundamental indicator of economic growth. All right. And for this, government is taking up certain approaches. Now, this is the time you have to write government effort. Here, you can use definitely, this the structure. The structure is, in first paragraph, you will write about the government ideology, the vision of government, which is based upon the constitutional ideology. The basis of government is upon the constitutional ideology. So you talk about in fundamental rights, article number 21 interpretation is what? Right to clean environment. In this DPSP part 4, 48A, and in this fundamental duties part 4A, you will have 51AG. So this is indicating towards government's approach for protecting the forest. All right. And then you will be talking about the legislative approach. Approach for the government towards protecting the forest. What is the legislative approach? You'll have to write about the Forest Rights Act, National Green Tribunal Act, Environmental Protection Act. There are several acts which have been created for protecting this the forest cover. And then you will be coming about the policies which are there. So policies, government policies for this promotion of Miyawaki technique, social forestry schemes. All right. And then the multilateral engagement of this government with the civil society organizations. Multilateral engagements of government with civil society organizations, such as promotion of what? The cohabitation of Maldhari communities near Gir Forest Reserve. All right. Multiple engagements with tribals, or this creation of this national park, ex situ conservation, that has to be written in this Wildlife Protection Act also, that is in legislative part. And the next part, government effort. Despite government effort, there are certain malpractices which has been visible. Or recent IFSR report, Indian Forest Survey report 2021, is indicating towards loss of forests in what? Northeast region. Loss of forests in Northeast region. You'll be saying that there will be the instances of deforestation, pollution, habitat fragmentation. You can give the example also. National Highway number 7 and what? Boar Tiger Reserve or Panna Tiger Reserve. Kane-Betwa link and Boar Tiger Reserve. So these are the examples of habitat fragmentation. These are the current affairs which are there, which are increasing, indicating towards the concern. All right. So after this current affairs, what has to be done?
NGOs like they are protesting against RA forest.
You can talk about that. You can talk about that. Why not? You can talk about that. There are various NGOs or various civil society organizations. For example, in Niamgiri Hills, the protests by the tribes has created this, has restricted coming of the larger sector like this POXO. These all are the parts of the current affairs. Despite current affairs, understanding the importance of forest are the best case studies. Understanding this importance of forest as the best case studies of economic excellence. You'll have to what are the way forward should be there. So what are the way forward, do you think? Environmental education. Way forward is environmental education. The value creation in the community, the coordination and collaboration, multi-stakeholders approach. All these has to be written in just 1 or 2, 3 paragraphs. All right. And after way forward, you will have to give the right suitable conclusion. What is the right conclusion in this? I'll say, we as a responsible head of food web and food chain have the responsibility to keep the sky clean, ocean blue and earth green. अब देखो ये punchline I have told you in the class. Is this usable directly here? Look at this. Can you see this essay? This essay, simulating continuously till 12 page, from 1 page to 12 page. Can you see that running in a flow? Is it in flow? There are 2 things. There is only one thing which is required for getting very high marks in essay. That is what? Flow. Flow in content and flow in language. All right. So this is about this one, number 1, the topic number 1. All right. Let's talk about topic number 4. Topic number 4. Out of these 4, I am going to discuss 2, and out of these 4, I am going to discuss 2. So there are 4 essays which we are going to discuss. ठीक है? 11 पेज लिखाएगा इससे. Is there any problem? A ship in harbor, it's safe, but that is not what ship is for. A ship in harbor, it's safe, but that is not what ship is for. All right. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for. Tell me how to begin this essay. If I tell you just one word for writing this essay or beginning this essay, that is risk-taking capability.
Never tastes death but one.
So you can start with that also, the quotes, the anecdote. I'll say here, you take up the examples of a girl coming from the rural India, all right, and becoming the let's take the example of the real-time example of this APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam. At the same time, you compare him with the unemployed youth which are present right now. All right, unemployed youth which are present right now, which are creating a kind of demographic burden on the country. So I'll just write this essay, the topic of this essay. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is meant for. All right. It is saying that I'm just deducing this topic to risk-taking capability. So I'll say there was a small boy. I'll write the story in the beginning. Let's start with the intro. There was a boy in the districts of Tamil Nadu. All right, who managed to come out of his house in the floods and who managed to continue his school during the disaster newspaper to support his education. All right, so create employment opportunities. But at the same time, there were many friends of him who were not willing to take up that much risk. So in first paragraph, in 30-40 words, I'm going to explain about a small boy from Tamil Nadu came up from this poor village which were flooded. All right, and after this flooding also, he managed to go to the school in the youthful stage. Because of his poverty, he used to sell newspapers to fund his education, and he continuously put effort. He continuously took risks in his life. All right, and in the end, he became the what? He's none other than the former president, the missile man of India. That is what? That is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. All right, but there were many friends of him. In the same village who were not willing to take that much of risk, who did not took the risk, and they remain unemployed. They live the life there in the village only. All right. So then after these 40 words paragraphs, you compare. The third paragraph is for comparison. In that comparison, you will say that what is the difference? What created the difference between these two sets of people? All right. The difference which is created is in their risk-taking capability, in their the leadership capability, leadership behavior. All right, in their ability to understand that how to fight the problems and move ahead. All right, these are all the dimensions of why this ship is ship in harbor is safe. He did not just believe in living a life of safety, but he believed in life of what? Progress, life of meaning. Ship in harbor, there is no meaning for creation of that ship. You do not give the meaning to your life until you associate your life with certain kinds of values. We will come to that. There will be examples from all the different fields. And then when you have written 2 paragraphs, then 1 comparative paragraph, then 4th paragraph will be on what? The explaining this topic. All right. And in explanation, you'll say the mentioned topic or this topic indicates what meaningfulness of life is added with the calculated risk which is taken, with the self-confidence, with the right leadership abilities. Are you understanding my point? So you talked about here in the fourth paragraph that meaningfulness, and then in the fifth paragraph, probably you are transiting to the second page. All right, second page or 1.5 pages over. All right, there you will be writing about that this what you will be writing about the above ideas, the ideas mentioned or the symbolism mentioned by this phrase is visible in all the domains which are present, is visible in all the domains which are present. All right, such as you write there then historical, social, political. Why we are writing such as like this? Because to create a flow in the language, because after this we are going to discuss upon that. All right, so now again we are going to give the thesis and then antithesis and then government effort and then moving ahead. Are you understanding my point? So here you are saying what historical, social, political, geopolitical, economical in economics domain or environmental domain, ethical domains. All right, so these are the fundamental zones in which we are going to give the thesis. So in history, tell me one point from ancient history, where you think that the risk taking capability has created the impact. You can see. So you do not just see that the impact by expansion of Alexander's empire. I'll say the better example that Buddha, from his household, from his family life, he could take the risk of leaving his family and move towards enlightenment. Buddha and Mahavira, you write in just one word. And that risk resulted into what? That idea of striving towards enlightenment resulted into creation of a religion, or it helped in enlightening of the people, of the masses. In case of Akbar religious policies from medieval India, if I say in case of Akbar religious policies, that was again deviation from the past. That was again deviation against the idea of the established norm which was there. For example, his religious policy was very secular, abolishing the taxes on jizya, creation of this Ibadat Khana, Jile Ilahi. All these are what indicating towards the secular policies. So that is also what the calculated risk, and that created the impact during the reign of Akbar, or during the regime of Akbar. And then in modern India, do not forget about Gandhiji. And why Gandhiji only? I'll say about all the freedom fighters which are there in India. So freedom fighters has created a massive impact on the what? Against colonial rule. Hai na? You can take up the examples from world also. Why not? You can take up the examples from world also. All right, and then come to the society. In social sphere, not just historical sphere, but in social sphere also. The present day women empowerment. The women empowerment is based upon the right kind of exposures provided to the women. Right kind of exposures provided to the women. Or women's ability to take up her own decision. All right. And there you mention in each one of them that this could not have been possible if women consider themselves as the part of her home only. All right. So that means what I am saying, safe in harbor it's safe, women in home it's safe. All right. But not empowered. That is not what women are meant for. All right. So liberalization or liberal ideologies which are coming up in societies are making society progressive. All these has to be connected with the topics, the topic which is given. And from society, we are saying that this. You are saying that the society needs a regulation or politico-administrative system. Every society needs a politico-administrative system. And in politico-administrative system, this bold or pragmatic this policy maker or realist politico-administrative system is required for taking up the right decisions. All right. Moving on, status quo make this politico-administrative system outdated. All right. So you will write, you will just create that by not taking up this bold decisions, this will be what? This will be outdated. And you'll say that after then, to create the flow in the language, you'll say a stable politics or a realist politics. A realist politics is what? Is indication of a sound geopolitics. And then there you talk about what? The image of India. You talk about image of India or courtesy in the sphere of geopolitics is because of the realism in geopolitics, pragmatism in geopolitics, which is there. All right. And then you'll say that China became so aggressive, or China managed to, because it managed to what? Uplift her economic and geopolitical relations. All right. So it is the time for India also to do the same. And then you'll say that a strong geopolitical leader is reflected in her strong trade and commerce. So you'll say about trade and commerce, and then economic, in economic sphere, not just trade and commerce, but in economic sphere also, it is very important for promoting this startup culture, entrepreneurship culture, to take the right risk at right time. So government being the enabler, for the economics, or for in the mixed economic regime. all right, is indicating towards what? Is indicating towards the economic success. And then you just talk about environment. In environment also, why not in environment also? You'll have to talk about the solution to all the environment problems. Solution to all the environment problems are not lying in restricting development or no development at all, but it lies in sustainable development. That is the SIP which is meant for. SIP will go out, but it will go out in the sustainable manner. And not just from environment, but the ethical perspective. Ethical perspective. It promotes innovation, efficiency, leadership. All these. So if you are writing like this, I think probably you are on your 5th or 6th page. 5 pages that you have reached already. Why? And where we have reached? We have given thesis to this thesis to support this argument. But what will be the antithesis? What will be the antithesis? Sometimes focus upon safety becomes priority than that of risk-taking capability. Focus upon safety becomes priority than that of what? Risk-taking capability. In cases of disaster, one paragraph on in cases of disaster, one paragraph on the issues of internal and external securities. In case of the war, safety become much more important than that of what? Risk-taking capability. And after then, when you have given some, and in similar way, you can give 3-4 more antithesis in the similar way. Despite these are the concerns for safety more than this risk-taking capability. Government has understood the values. Government has clearly understood the values. Government has clearly understood the values. And for that, government is doing, government is helping. What are the approach of government? Values. Government has clearly. What are the approach of government? Then you will have to give the approach of government for what? Enhancing risk-taking capabilities. Do you see anything in the constitution which is there? Do you see anything in the constitution which is there? In fundamental rights, you'll have right to education. And in fundamental duty, what about 51A subclause J? Strive for excellence. When we talk about the legal measure, legislative measures, or legal administrative policy, political legal measures. So you'll have Startup India, Stand Up India, this Mudra Yojana, Startup, Stand Up, Mudra. Yes, you can write that. So once you have written this, all right, and then you can take up the individual examples. You have missed upon individual examples which can be there for who has created this this idea of risk taking becoming successful. Recently, this example of Falguni Nair, self-made billionaire. Who is Falguni Nair? Nykaa CEO. All right. If I say about the recent Commonwealth Games, India's performance in recent Commonwealth Games, Do you see India's performance in recent Commonwealth Games have increased, massively increased in sports? How? Because of India's ability to take risk from conventional career opportunities to sports-based career opportunities. So in that only, in athletics only, in one paragraph, you are writing about all these. Are you understanding my point? But despite that, since you are showing the positive, you have to create the contrast in the writing so that you can grab the attention of the examiner. All right. So you can write, despite that government's effort, there are certain current affairs which are, indicating towards the concern. What are those current affairs? Tell me. If I say the rising levels of unemployment, which is there, rising levels of unemployment, which is there, or what SIP is meant for. Some people are not just guided in the right direction, they are taking the reverse trend, going towards joining this terrorist organizations, or joining this increasing left-wing extremism areas. All these are the major cause of concern. Why? Because the ships are not moving in right direction. That is the concern, that ships are not moving in right direction. But the direction of movement of ship is what? In wrong direction. So when you have raised the concern, recent cyber criminals also, one paragraph on cyber criminals. So all these concerns are indicating towards what? A way forward. What is the way forward? Do you think that here it should be? The way forward should be what? To target mothers for value creation, schools for value creation, morality. Like we have got a happiness curriculum in Delhi, we should have the morality curriculum also in the schools. Sensitivity training should be there. All right. And when you have just written this, then you are going to write about the conclusion. What will be the conclusion? What will be the conclusion? In conclusion, you write that if every community, if everybody in India comes together to understand or to apply the ideas of this risk-taking capability, in the right direction. Look at this. This is from the class which we have discussed already. India will be moving on the 4 lines of Rabindranath Tagore, where the mind is without fear, the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken into fragments. So you talk about the conclusion like this. Did you understand? Do you see any coherence in writing? Do you see a dry run? Do you see a flow in writing? Do you see it? All right. So these two are discussed. Now we are going to discuss 2 from the section B. 2 from section B. Do not look at me like you need a break. There will not be any break. Hmm? चलो देखो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आ जाओ. हाँ 5 minutes ब्रेक कैसे अभी 3 घंटे का तो पेपर होता है तो 3 घंटा आप 2 घंटा बैठ नहीं पा रहे हैं कैसे होगा काम 1.5 घंटा हुआ एग्जैक्टली माई प्लान इज टू डिस्कस इट फिनिश विद इन 3 hours नॉट मोर देन 3 hours ठीक है हाँ चलो लेट्स बिगिन नाउ बेटर हो डू नॉट आस्क मी फॉर ब्रेक ठीक है द टाइम टू रिपेयर द रूफ इज व्हेन द सन इज शाइनिंग the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining there are two aspects of it है ना number one is what right time right decision making all right time right decision making only includes two aspects number one is what this is the best suitable time to take this decision number two the decision is taken why because this is going to shape our future sun is shining now that means what the next time the sun will not be shining but there will be rainfall and the roof is not repaired so in that case it will be very difficult to repair the roof and there will be rainfall in that rainfall will be damaging the roof all right and present time since the sun is shining now so that means we have got adequate light adequate opportunity adequate dryness to the repair the roof so there are two aspects of it so here in that case we have started with two essays with the anecdote here I am going to give you just explain this topic you just explain in the beginning in the introduction 1 page explanation for this topic what is the explanation the same way you explain all right you say that in this when the sun is shining there will be sufficient light and sufficient dryness to repair the roof you just you start with this you have to put it in double inverted comma because from this you are creating a phrase only from this you are creating the phrase but you have to go to the broader meaning of it not just to stop at here but you have to go to the broader meaning of it you talk about what this indicates towards taking the right decision at right time all right I'll tell you that how you can use that in almost all the domains in history the right decisions will be taken by the this Mahatma Gandhi or the freedom fighters and those right decisions at right time has helped in gaining independence at early stage there are Southeast Asia countries who got independence in 1960s nations which are there in Southeast Asia so we got the independence little early All right. So how to write? And then you will say that the next in the next paragraph, sun is shining now. Sun is shining now. That means there will be rains which are to come. Which are to come. And in rainy season, it is difficult. It is difficult to what? It is difficult to create the or repair the roof. All right. We'll come to that. First, we are explaining the topic, and then you say this connotation indicates towards the decisions should be made much early before the disasters to happen. Much early before the disasters to happen. So, and then you have given two explanations. Correlate now in the third paragraph. In the third paragraph, you are saying that the decision making, right decision making at the right time. Right decision making is at the right time. Are the what? Key to success. All right, are the key to success. And then you say about that in the third paragraph, you have written about the right decision making at the right time are the key to success. All right, then you will say that this has to be taken with keeping the present, or keeping the present in the mind and the future in consideration. Keeping the present in mind and future in consideration. And then you generalize it. You generalize it to correlate all the dimensions which are present. You generalize it to correlate all the dimensions which are present. So generalization will be what? What will be the generalization? This idea is valid in almost all the domains. This idea is valid in almost all the domains, such as what? Such as historical, social, political, geopolitical, economics, environmental, and ethical domain. You have saved this content, and then you start taking up examples and start writing one paragraph from each of the section. In history, right time, right decision. Tell me, in ancient India, what is the right time, right decisions which has been taken? Yes, you can say Kaling War. During the Kaling War. So, see here, you have to understand in this cases that what you have to write is the the positive examples, and you have to say that this decision is taken at the right time. So whether you talk about the Buddhism, rise of Buddhism in response to this orthodox religion, rise of Buddhism in response to orthodox religion, Buddhism and Jainism. Rise of Buddhism and Jainism in response to orthodox religion. All right. Has created a moderation, or has created a moderating society, has brought the the ethics or the morality in ecosystem, in society at that time. And then we will talk about what? Then we'll talk about from medieval India. Let me talk about the medieval India. Let's come to the modern India only directly. So you can talk about it was the vision of was the father of Tipu Sultan, Hyder Ali. It was the vision of Hyder Ali. All right. Which helped in the defeat of Britishers in Anglo-Carnatic Wars. Number one. Number two, you will say about what? The early, the early nationalism creation or early inspiration by this Bhagat Singh and the factions, or HSRA has connected the masses, and mobilized the masses for a mass struggle like Quit India movement. All right. So the roof was repaired. At that time only. All right, in 1920s. And then next is what? After then, we are going to discuss about then you come to the society. In society, the focus is upon what? Juvenile, sensitivity. Why all these are focused? All these are focused for what? Inculcation of values at early times or at right times. Inculcation of values at early times. All right. And then from social to what? Social to, and you have to expand that topic. I am giving you just the idea. You have to create 30 words, 30 to 35, 40 words, for expanding that topic and bringing its relevance with respect to the question. All right. Next is what? When we talk about from social to political. So you say that this sound social system or a moral social system will be in the response of a sound politico-administrative system. This is how you transit from one paragraph to another paragraph. And then you talk about the politico-administrative system. So you will say that the decisions taken in the by the first prime ministers or Mr. Sukumar Sen. Who is Sukumar Sen? Our election commissioner of India, first election commissioner of India. So has helped in transition to democracy. Successful transition of democracy. At that time, if that decision would not have been taken, the problems. In the sphere of geopolitics, India is globally recognized and globally considered, a very responsible nation. Why? Because of its early policies of Panchshil, togetherness, mutual respect. at the early stage. At the early stage. So when you talk about the geopolitics, it is also there. When you talk about the economics, the idea of mixed economics, the bringing of LPG in 1991, there are some benefits of LPG, is the basis of present day investment which is there. Is the basis of present day investment which is there. All right. Then you are going to talk about, from Make in India to policies like Atmanirbhar Bharat. From making India to policies like Atmanirbhar Bharat is a step towards what? Securing our future by integrating India into global supply chain. All right. And then next is what? For the environmental concerns. For the environmental concerns, like rising pollution in Delhi, environmental morality, the focus upon environmental morality, the focus upon what? Environmental consensus in environmental education. Focus upon environmental education is what? Is the basis for future tackling of environmental or sustainable development, you can say simply in just one word. Right. Not just environment, but also what? Ethics. In ethics, you talk about what? This is showing the long-term vision, long-term perspective, long-term attitude, and you will say about this attitude shapes the behavior. Understanding of this will shape the right attitude, which will be reflected in the behavior. And everybody behaving in the right way with the help of right decision making, everybody behaving in the right way with the help of right decision making can make this world a beautiful place to live in. So what will be the antithesis to this? This is the thesis which I have given. What will be the antithesis to this argument? What will be the antithesis? Bolo? Poor understanding of this. You will not say, you do not complicate that. You say simply that poor understanding of this. So at right time, right decision is not taken. So that is leading to what? What is happening because of that? So all the negative events which are happening because of the right decisions are not taken at the right time. So you take up the conventional examples. The in the internal security affairs, like rise of left-wing extremism, rise of terrorism, the rise of corruption in political administrative system, rise of corruption in political administrative system, in society, the triangle, the barriers of casteism, feudalism, patriarchy has not been tackled because what? It is deeply entrenched because of the right decision at the right time has not been taken. So this is a what? Argument against or antithesis which is given. In economics, the instances of black marketing, the over dependence upon what? The services. These are indicating towards. These are indicating towards what? The missing the idea of right decision making at the right time. Clear, making sense? So when you have given the what? Antithesis, then you will have to give government efforts. Government efforts regarding this. So what about the constitutional effort? So constitutional effort in the what? In bringing morality in the society through the preambular values, through rights and duties. And DPSP are a instrument of instruction for bringing good governance. You just give the broader points to bring the good governance. All right. So then after constitution, you have to give the legal administrative measures. Legal administrative measures. So through legal administrative measures, you are saying that government is what? Government is supporting through creating the enabling ecosystem. Through creating the enabling ecosystem. By infrastructural support, by investment support, or by skill support. All right. Which will help building the capabilities or help bringing the efficiencies or efficiency. Capabilities and efficiency. All right. All right. So you can write, you have written the this and engaging holder approach, multiple engagements with the civil society organizations in the third paragraph about the government efforts. Despite this government effort, what is happening? Again, give the contrast, some of the current affairs things which is happening. So recent communal violence, Udaipur beheading, are the, this is indicating towards, is indicating the urgent need. इस तरीके से लिखेंगे, is indicating the urgent need for repairing the wounds in the society or healing the wounds in the society, wounds of the society. All right. All right, making sense? Clear? And then you talk about in the recent incidents where for playing PUBG, a son killed his mother. All right, it is indicating what the sad state of values which are there. Sad state of values are there, and it is indicating towards what? The urgent need to repair the moral fabric in the society or the value system in the society. Clear? Making sense? Making sense till here? And then you are going to talk about what? Wage ahead. What are the wage ahead in this? Right time, right decision makings. What are the wage ahead? How government should promote? Yes, they take the approach of that. Mothers, targeting schools, targeting teachers, targeting society. Efficiency trainings has to be provided. All right. so that the person should be enabler. Person should be enabled for a decision making, for the decision making. So this is how you can take up Bayhead. And then conclusion. What about the conclusion? You say that the ideas of this, the right time, right decision making should be on the basis of this. On the basis of this, the problems are there, the situations may arise, but in William Ernst Henley, in the poem Invictus, it has been stated that it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with the punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. All right. All right. And you do not stop here. You say this indicates the basis for what? Basis for decision making at the right time. Next question, देखो. Let's discuss question number 8. Just because you have a choice, it does not mean any of them has to be right. So you will say, after First World War, Germany had a choice, or Hitler had a choice. What? Had a choice to peacefully deal all the harshness of First World War. All right. Germany was at one time economically so prosperous that there was no need of war at all. But Hitler chose war out of this revenge, out of this ultra-nationalistic approach which is there. All right. So out of that choice, Hitler performed. Hitler chose war over the what? War over the peaceful balance. And then the break. No, it is not the class break. Okay? Break in writing. You create another paragraph. You say that what? Mahatma Gandhi. You talk about Mahatma Gandhi. Hitler and Gandhi comparison are very, very ideal. Out of these four, I am doing it for the first time. You talk about Mahatma Gandhi also had the choice to live a peaceful life of a barrister. Had a choice to live a peaceful life of a barrister, or to remain in ignorance, Yet he chose to do continuous struggle for independence. Ultimately, India got independence on 15th August 1947. So these two. And then in the third paragraph, you ask questions. Both of them had choices. So what differentiation? What is the differentiation? What is the difference which has created so much, which differentiates the impacts of these two choices which are taken? All right. So what is the difference? You ask a question, and ask a question in such a manner so that you are going to justify this, statement. Clear? Eh? Is it making sense to you? So just because you have a choice does not mean it has to be right. So then you will be saying that the choices which one have may not be right at times. It may not be right at times. You can say like that. And then you will have to explain this topic. Explain this topic. All right. You ask the question. You answer that question, and right, your choices, the choices one person have, are also having the limitations with respect to the the situation. In particular situation, this much of choices are there. But if we say about what, in the words of Kant, if you know that, you can write that. Why not? The freedom is choices, right to choose from the choices created by oneself. Choices are now largely external, and choices are exercised with what? The person's limited knowledge, limited information. You have read the idea of bounded rationality. So you will have unlimited choices. I'll tell you have unlimited choices, but the kind of your information you have, the kind of decision making capability you have, on the basis of that only you are going to exercise your choices. It is not like you are going to analyze all the things and you are going to take the choices. So this is how it is indicating towards, despite having choice, one may not consider the right decisions, or one may not exercise the right decisions. All right. And then you indicate this idea is valid in almost all the dimensions. In almost all the dimensions, such as, again, you'll have historical, social, political, geopolitical, economical, environmental. And this, in the same way you are going to write here, you will have to write in that, because in the beginning you have started with in the comparative aspect. So start giving comparative aspects everywhere. How? I'm just giving you very brief analysis. You give the comparative aspect which you read early Vedic period versus later Vedic period. The choices were always be there. Choices were always be there. All right. But the position of women degraded in later Vedic period. That means what? This was not right. Early Vedic period, you have got a very good condition of women. That means that choice was still there in the later Vedic period. So in later Vedic period, but what they choose? The woman as the second class citizen. So that means what? Our choices, what? Degraded. You write about, I just gave one example. You talk about what? The degradation of society in later Vedic period. So then again, you can also talk about what? The two types of religion which is there: heterodoxy versus orthodoxy. Heterodoxy means what? Mahavir, Buddhism and Jainism versus orthodoxy. Choices were there, but one side you see the right element of wrong which is picked up. All right. It is the Asoka choice from where he goes to Dham goes. All right.
There is also an example from mythology, like from Mahabharata.
Why not? You can give examples from mythology also.
Like,
all right. Choices were there that Mahabharata could have been evaded. All right. But Mahabharata was there. Right or wrong, that is a different question altogether there. है ना? ठीक है? और Lord Krishna had the choice. He could have ended. He himself had stated in Bhagavad Gita that he could have ended this war with the single finger. But he did not do that. Why? This was the right thing to be exercised by Lord Krishna. So yes, here it is saying that the choices are there. Some of them are ethical, some of them are unethical. You'll have to show both way. So give the comparative analysis. Unethical one versus the ethical one. Choices are there. One is unethical one, another one is ethical one. Are you understanding my point? Understanding very clearly? Then you can talk about Aurangzeb from medieval India. What did he do? He had the choices, but he exercised all the choices in the bad way, in the immoral way. Morality was not there with respect to the choices. Muhammad Shah Rangila. You know that? Everybody flew from his, this darbar. He also created in a very moral way. He was so indulgent that he could not protect his own empire. All right. And then you can talk about what? This colonizers. You can say, but do not be too much on history. So from political side, we will come to that. So I'll go slightly fast. So colonizers, then in society, again, the choices like earlier, Sati Pratha was there. That was considered right at that time. So they had the choices of widow remarriage. Yet people have a deep-rooted patriarchy even today. So that is a concern. In politics, you will have this, or in politics, you will have this rent-seeking politics, vote bank politics, this the corruption in politico-administrative system, which is there, is what? Is the this bad decision making on the basis of the choice. Choice is not reflected in the moral behavior which is there. All right, we are giving this that where choices are not reflected in the moral behavior. And then we will be giving in economics. Again, in economics, you'll have the instances of black marketing, which is there. Poverty and unemployment, rise in unemployment, inflation. All right. In disasters also, disasters choices play a very important role. Right decisions will be the basis for what? Saving the life of the people. Saving the life of the people is the right morality. Are you understanding my point? Clear? Making sense? So, next part is antithesis. In antithesis, I'll say that those people who has exercised their choices in the right way, those people who has exercised their choices in the right way has created what? Right kind of who has created wonders, or who has created the impact, the right impact. Take the examples of athletes, good athletes. Take the examples of the good entrepreneurs, Tatas. Take the example of this the good social worker, Kailash Satyarthi. All right, or the Malala Yousafzai. All right, or take the examples of the environmental protection civil society organizations. So you have given the antithesis, and after antithesis, you will be saying that what? This choice should be linked with morality. How this choice is, translated into morality. What is the strategic intervention government is doing? Strategic intervention government is doing. Number one, first paragraph on constitutionalism, all which constitutionalism. Number two is political constitutionalism. Can you write constitution in promoting the the preambular values? In the first paragraph, you can write of justice. Because in preamble, all the things are for what? The morality, for making things right. And then legal administrative system. In legal administrative system. Or political administrative domain. Righteousness will be for with the what? The right conduct rules. All right. And then what? Where to go after that? Where to go? Bolo, kahan pahunche? Current affairs. Current affairs. So you talk about the cyber criminals. You talk about the the terrorism activities. Recently, what happened in Japan? Shinzo Abe was killed, na? Or Udaipur beheading, or the schoolboy killing his teacher or his parents. All these things are happening because of what? The choices are not exercised with the right morality. Choices are there, but morality is missing. Foresight is also missing. So these are, so what are the way ahead? Way ahead. Morality training, foresight development, standard code of ethics should be brought, righteousness and wrongness, ideas. Are you understanding? Making sense? Clear? So when you are writing this, then you'll have to move towards what? Conclusion. And in conclusion, you can give up this. क्या वो लास्ट पर्सन लास्ट मिनट में आए हैं? वो भी लिख सकते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पे मैं थोड़ा दूसरा आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ, है ना? फ्रॉम द क्लास look at this. We have a new resolve, a new resolution, a new enthusiasm, a new vitality to take the country to new heights and greater heights. This dream of our honorable prime minister, है ना? After this double quote ऐसे ही लिखेंगे जैसे ये लिखा हुआ है. And after this, the dream of our honorable prime minister will be visible if choices are exercised in right manner, or all Indians exercise the choices in right manner, in moral way. Clear है? Making sense? ठीक है? So देखो, the way I told you, ठीक है, this will have all the dimensions in essay, and this will have all the dimensions in essay. And if I say you that how to get the best marks, after this, what matters is the presentation. What matters is your flow. All right, the ideas I have told you, I have not told you about the flow, about the presentation, and that cannot be created, that cannot be taught by myself. You yourself can learn that. What I can do, I can coach you in that. All right, you do the mistake, you commit the mistake, and then we will be talking, and then we'll be discussing that. Okay, so tomorrow after the GS paper 1 discussion, all right, 1 p.m. we are going to discuss GS paper number 1. Nahi, 1 p.m. GS paper number 1. Right, and then after that, ठीक है? अरे देखो, कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा. डिड यू गेट द कॉन्फिडेंस आफ्टर दिस कि यूपीएससी निकाला जा सकता है? अरे अभी आया है क्या? कहीं मार्केट में सॉल्यूशन आ गया है क्या? कहीं आपको क्लास में जो करवाए थे उससे कुछ अलग करवाए क्या? कुछ भी नहीं. हाँ, क्या आपको लग रहा है, अभी डर लग रहा है कि 11 पेज नहीं लिख सकते? Do you have any kind of fear? फिर so just see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Okay. हाँ बोलो.